Hey, welcome back. So this is part 3 of my tutorial on how I shot the piano practice videos over 30 days. This is going to wrap it up, so let's get into it. Where we left off last time, we had both of the video files lined up with each other. Now we got to line up the actual audio itself. I muted the two video files, and now I'm going to move the voiceover file to line up with those two. So I had these other pieces here, but I thought they were making noise. I went ahead and cut that out because it's not important. I'm going to go ahead and move this in line with where the other clips begin, and it should be pretty close. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to resize this top video of the piano view, and we got to rotate that as well. So let's zoom in here, go ahead and click on that, select it, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the corner down here and I'm going to shrink it, and you can see the other video underneath it. Now I'm going to grab that and I'm going to move it down a little bit so you can see the little button on the top there, and then that allows you to rotate it, and it will lock into place at 90 degrees, right about there. So it's out of alignment a little bit, but that's going to be okay. We're going to go ahead and crop this down because even with it moved in position, it's kind of blocking the other keyboard of me playing from the side view. Now with that selected, we are going to go to Tools, Video, Crop and Zoom. And it brings up that window. So we're going to go ahead and shrink the view here and crop some of this, but I kind of want to balance it out so that it doesn't cover too much of the keyboard. I'm going to go ahead and move that till it lines up with the top of the keyboard, and then I'm going to move that whole window down a little bit. The idea is that I'm trying to cover all the keys that I'm actually using to play. So now I'm just going to move that piece down until it cuts off the bottom part of that video. So I don't need to see the keyboard and the mouse and all that stuff. Now I'm going to make sure that my voiceover is going to line up with the existing footage. It looks like it's pretty close there, but I usually crank up the zoom all the way, so it's fairly obvious if it's off by a little bit. Looks like it's pretty good there, and I just had to move it one frame or two. Let's hear what that sounds like. Hey, welcome back to... That's really close. So the next thing we want to do is we want to remove all of the key clacking noises from the keyboard controller that are in between me talking. I'm going to zoom in on that a little bit here. Let's get into it. Okay, so it starts right about there. Normally I take care of this during the audio editing process, but I kind of missed it. But that's okay because now I can teach you how to do it this way. Go ahead and cut right there. And then we're going to move to where I start talking again, right about there. So if you want to learn more, yeah, right about there, a little bit earlier than that, right there. And cut it again. Right there. So now we're going to sync the announcement title of the channel with the dialogue at the end. So find out where it starts. I've got a YouTube channel called Studio on a Budget. Right there is where I want to put it. Let me zoom in a little bit. Called Studio. YouTube channel called Studio. Right there. So let's zoom up to where the title's going to be and move it to that spot. There it is. And then you just drag that until it starts where the cursor is. That's it. And let's see what it looks like. Called Studio on a Budget. So now we're going to do the fade out on the end for the entire video for all the pieces. So shrink the view down a little bit. So we already have the fade out on the header. I'm going to go ahead and line up all of the other pieces with that. Let's go ahead and zoom everything down here and move to the end so I can see where everything's got to go.
Content creation. We'll see you there.
That's the spot right there. Looks like there's some additional noise on the end I don't really need to have.
We'll see you there.
So the next thing I'm going to do is right at that spot, I'm going to make sure that the fade out starts there. So I'm going to take the header fade out and move it right about there so that it starts right at the last word I say. Now I'm going to go repeat that dissolve with all the top view and the side view. So it defaults to that length. I'm just going to go ahead and shrink it, line it up with the header, and I'm going to do it again with the side view. So play it back now.
We'll see you there.
So I know that the video piece is not the right piece. It's the proxy. I'm going to show you how to get rid of that. To clear the proxy, we're going to go to File, Preferences, and then we're going to go to where it says Media Cache. And see where it says Proxy Files right here, the first one. Go ahead and hit that clear button. Also, you can go to the location of the actual folder where it keeps the proxy files, which is right here. That's on the Folders tab. Bring that on over and clear everything out of here too. Now we're going to add the final piece, which is the piano. First thing we're going to do is we're just going to drag that to a free track, and that's the one below the voiceover. Then we have to find out where the piano starts playing, and that's way back here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out this front dead space here, and I'm going to move the cursor to as close as I can get to the beginning of the audio. Go ahead and cut that right there. So now we're going to throw that first piece away. Just go ahead and delete that, and we're going to slide where the piano starts playing over to line up with where it's supposed to be. And it's roughly there. I'm going to zoom in and get it right on the money. So here's the trick. You want to find where the phone records the key clack noises and where that starts. We're already pretty close. Right there is where it's going to have to go. So now we're going to line it up right there, and then we're going to drag the beginning of the sound to that, and it should be dead on. The other way to ensure that your piano is in the right location is you can actually see when I start playing the key right there. And that's how you know we're pretty close. I'm going to go ahead and move that over a couple of frames, get a little closer. You can see right about there is where it needs to be. And it's going to sound like this. Yeah, that's pretty close. That's good. Before I export, I usually minimize the view on every single track so that I've got a fresh place to start if I ever want to do any more editing on this, and hit save and then go to export. So when we get the box, the first thing we're going to do is name the file. Then we're going to choose a location where we're going to save it. And I always want to make sure that it's in the correct day and in the final folder. Choose that, and then we're going to go ahead and leave all the other settings alone and hit export. Usually takes a while. So now that that's done, I usually watch the video playback and make sure it's okay.
Hey, welcome back to day 29. Let's get into it.
Okay, something's wrong there. So I'm going to have to go back and check out, find out what's wrong, and then re-export this all over again. As you can see, it's really important to have that final video check before you upload to YouTube, because I've caught mistakes there, and it's an important step, so you don't want to skip on that one. As always, if you need to contact me, you can reach me at studioonaBudget@gmail.com. We'll see you next time. Thanks.